Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us tonight here in London.
Thank you.
Can you talk us through how you discovered the script and why your first instinct was to take it to Kiran?
I was a jury in a script writing competition back home in India, and it was a competition to encourage young new writers from across the country. So I was in the jury along with three other members, and I came across the script while I was reading scripts for that competition, and I just fell in love with it. And I knew instantly that this is something that really is, pulling me towards it, and I really wanted to make this. And I also knew that Kiran had been searching for a film to make.
A
She'd been.
lost lady herself.
I felt that Kiran, her big strength as a director is that she's extremely honest in her telling. And a dramatic story like this, needed just really simple honesty to tell the story.
Jyoti, when the film first came to you, it came in near complete form. You saw a finished screening, essentially. In what way did the film chime with your own instincts and your own priorities as a producer?
Every studio is expected to, cast big stars and, cast Aamir and the sorts and sort of blow up a lot of money and, blockbusters as they're called. But in our studio, we've always wanted to equally say stories with purpose. And we've done that in our journey so far. And as a woman, I'm especially partial to stories with either women protagonists or some theme around women empowerment. And this one was ticking all the boxes. Not only was it a very powerful story with great purpose, it was also entertaining. It was extremely entertaining. It was extremely engaging. I thought that it disarmed the viewer in the first 10 minutes itself. Viewers as an audience, I sat back on my seat in the very first 5-10 minutes, and then it started to keep packing punches between all the jokes. It was a very, very well nuanced film, very craftily put together, I would say, by Kiran. And absolutely immediately, I knew that I had to be a part of this film. And also, the first thing that I told Aamir and Kiran was that I know it doesn't have big stars and but it's got a big heart, and we must take it to the theaters. We must not sort of release it as an OTT film, and we must take it to the cinemas, and we did.
Kiran, I would echo Jyoti there and say that you've done a wonderful job with the direction of this film. And in the character of Jaya specifically, the film depicts a woman who pursues agency and independence at great personal risk. Was Jaya's pursuit for autonomy something that chimed with you personally, that you felt a personal connection to? And why would you say that it is important to see stories like Jaya's on screen?
The original script, Two Brides, had a very different Jaya.
Right.
Firstly, she was called Dolly, which I really wanted to change. But also she, there was no mystery around her. She was very clear about what she wanted to do. And she kind of in the original, takes charge of the situation. She heads out to look for pool. So the beginning and the end of the original script are roughly what you see. But I really felt like having an arc for Jaya would, where, she actually finds herself thrown into this situation, is actually, using all her inventiveness to kind of, find her way out of this mess and try and do, actually, like she says, I didn't steal anything but an opportunity. And I thought it was, a character like her, there are so many characters like her who have been denied that opportunity, who are very bright, who, would do a million things other than what they've been asked to do. And we really wanted to give create a character like her representing so many missed
Young
opportunities.
girls.
And what happens when a girl has agency, has autonomy, just by sheer luck, by mistake, and also what happens when girls get technology in their hands, you know. So really, it was she was a wonderful character for Sneha and me to kind of build on. Um, so her arc, we really changed a lot. Sneha created all these complications. Sneha is the writer of the screenwriter of the film, very very talented woman.
Also, what you did with, making us a bit mysterious, and you don't
Yeah,
really know what
exactly.
she's up to for quite
So
a bit.
that, yeah, because the film otherwise had, there was no, we were just waiting to find pool. So to create that parallel sort of story, this track where there's, which creates a little bit of suspense about this mysterious woman, was one of the ideas. And I thought, her and Manju Mai were two big changes we made in the original story.
The cop is an interesting character because through that character, the film is also revealed to be about male allyship. I mean, Aamir, you are behind this remarkable track record of films that challenge societal norms. And if this isn't too lofty a goal, is it the hope of Lost Ladies that it could inspire change in the real world? And why have you made socially progressive films your mission to put out into the world?
I don't have a mission to put out just socially relevant films, and that is demonstrated by films like Delhi Belly. And the way I look for it is, does the script give me a good time? I'm an audience too, and does it make me feel nice, and does it get me excited enough to be a part of this film? That's the process of me selecting a film. And clearly, because of how I am, I get attracted to certain things more than others. But each of these films work for me dramatically first as well. Uh, I wouldn't want to make a film just on a social issue just because I want to, but the script doesn't work and I'm just going hammer and tongs at it.
Right.
I prefer the creative process to be more organic, and the story to throw up things like this. And sometimes you come across scripts which are giving you a great time but are also saying something really important. And Lapata Ladies or Lost Ladies is one such example.
And Jyoti, how important is it for producers in the kind of position you are in as the president of Geo Studios to get films made that champion more diverse voices and more diverse characters and stories?
I think it's very important, but at the same time, I agree with what Aamir said. It's not like we send out briefs that, okay, now write about women empowerment or write about sustainability or global warming. We are storytellers, and I would say we are storytellers with responsibility. So I think we're actively looking to find stories with purpose, but our primary goal remains to tell stories in an entertaining manner. As a studio head, the more stories that I can tell with filmmakers which resonate with more audiences around the world, it's a success.
I felt like this film was such a great way for me to touch upon many, many experiences that women have at different stages in their lives, different classes, different cultures altogether, where these could be quite resonant as themes. So it was a very personal kind of project when I took it on. I really loved the kind of world that we could build and all the characters that we could put in. What I learned while making it is that first it's internalizing your own power in some strange way. It's about owning it and finding that space for yourself, and then naturally assertiveness happens in a way. So the little things, the fact that the Poonam is told that, oh, what you do has value, learning to value yourself, for your own skills, or or learning to just do what you enjoy, is actually powerful for yourself.
If I may add, I think it also very beautifully shows that in adversity, it brings out the best in women. I think we come into our own when faced with adversity. And I think one thing which we've not talked about today is how the men in the film were equally important. And some of them were allies, not all of them were villains. some of them were foolish, but not, not villains. So male allyship, or how to include them in the conversation, was very masterfully shown in this film. But I think the lesson that I get inspired by the women in this movie is that in adversity brings out the best in us.
It is very important for uh, men to help women, and actually for women to help men. They need a lot of help too, because patriarchy really damages men in many ways without them realizing it. It desensitizes us in many ways. I think beyond men and women, it's really, if you feel that something is unfair is happening, then you would like to step in and try and change things around. Whether you're a man or a woman, with any other person, they're all human beings at the end of the day to begin with. So I think it is very important to help each other and be sensitive. I also feel that a lot of us who are very patriarchal in our thinking are often that way because that's really how we've been brought up. A person is brought up and has a certain understanding. I mean, what I am today is a result of the experience on me as a growing child. And if my experiences were different, and I was taught different things, and I was, I believed different things, and I felt differently, then I would have been a different person. And so also we need to be understanding that let's try and help each other even to come out of this kind of thinking, you know so yes, we should be helping each other, not just men, women too.
We all need a Manjumai in our lives.
Yeah.
So we had written in that Pool stays in her red sari. She Manjumai at some point offers her clothes, but she chooses not to change because she was like, how will he spot me and recognize me? After all this time. So that was already in the script. So with Jaya, we obviously, she's staying for 6 days and in a home, so the saris were available, but of course the choice then was, what sari will she wear, what would her color sort of arc be? And that was actually more fun to design, was Jaya's sari. Pools, we just had to keep getting dirtier every day with kitchen soot, but um, Jaya, we tried to do it's sort of, she goes this kind of chameleon green in a green police station. And when she's doing something super dodgy, we found the right kind of blue to set her out from the rest of the family and, kind of warmed her up towards the end of the film. So we did choose our costumes very carefully. It was all obviously well planned. The hard thing, of course, was to find period correct saris, because you will notice in the film, it's 2000, the early 2000s is stylistically actually not a period. It doesn't, especially in rural India, it just doesn't feel any different from the late 90s or, kind of mid 2000s, except that the younger generation, of course, had moved to more polyester saris. And it was just the older generation maybe that still used the cotton. So we kind of had to search for the right kind of polyester, not this very digital printed polyester that you get today, but, slightly, I don't know if all of these details came through, but those were lots of discussions and lots of our challenges when we were planning costumes.
The music is obviously very wonderful, and this is your first time working with lyrical songs. How did you find that experience, and did you find it enriching for the film?
Amazing fun. I had literally the best collaborator, Ram Sampath, who actually at AKP we've done a lot of work with. Delhi Belly, Satyamev Jayate, Aamir's done Talash with him. I waited from October till January and I had nothing to do, obviously. So all I did was look at the cut and be like, what can we do to make it better? Like, how can we make it faster? How do we speed it up? And I was literally going in frame by frame, trying to tighten the cut. And this idea came to me that is it the song? Is the song just giving people the wrong impression? You know, it's a dhime, dhime, it's a slow song.
So the song at the end, Dhime Dhime Chale Purvaiya. This used to come at the beginning of the film when the
Yeah.
girl is getting married and she's going across the boat, and
Yeah, we'd created a
So
whole.
it's a song really is about a new journey, a beginning, and
Yeah.
she's feeling nervous about this new start of her life, and there's hope, but there's also fear.
Yeah.
So that song was actually starting the film, and what I think Kiran realized quite sharply is that it's setting the audience in a certain mood at the start of the film.
Thank you so much. You guys have stayed to
Thank
the
you.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovely
thank you to
chatting.
everyone. Thank you to Aamir Khan, Kiran Rao, and Jyoti Deshpande.